SA 220 Quality Control for an Audit of Financial Statements. Based upon quality control system of a firm, quality control policies pertaining to audit engagements are decided by engagement teams. Engagement partner of a team is responsible for quality control procedures of a particular audit engagement in accordance with SA 220. Therefore, SA 220 is premised on the basis that a firm is subject to SQC1. Within the context of the firm's system of quality control, engagement teams have a responsibility to implement quality control procedures that are applicable to the audit engagement and provide the firm with the relevant information to enable the functioning of that part of the firm's system of quality control related to independence. Engagement teams are entitled to rely on the firm's system of quality control unless information provided by the firm or other parties suggest otherwise. As per SA 220, the objective of an auditor is to implement quality control procedures at the engagement level that provide the auditor with reasonable assurance that the audit complies with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements, and the auditor's report issued is appropriate in the circumstances. SA 220 is modeled on lines of SQC1. It describes responsibilities of the engagement partner in relation to the following matters. First one, leadership responsibilities for quality on audits, relevant ethical requirements, acceptance and continuance of client relationships and audit engagements, assignment of engagement teams, engagement performance, monitoring. First one, leadership responsibilities for quality on audits. Leadership responsibility of an engagement partner is to take responsibility for the overall quality on each audit engagement. The actions of the engagement partner and appropriate messages to the other members of the engagement team in taking responsibility for the overall quality on each audit engagement emphasis. Leadership responsibility for quality on audits. The importance to audit quality of performing work that complies with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements, complying with the firm's quality control policies and procedures as applicable, issuing auditors reports that are appropriate in the circumstances, and the engagement team's ability to raise concerns without fear of reprisals. The fact that quality is essential in performing audit engagements is emphasized by the leadership responsibilities for quality on audits. The importance to audit quality of performing work that complies with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements, complying with the firm's quality control policies and procedures as applicable, issuing auditors reports that are appropriate in the circumstances, and the engagement team's ability to raise concerns without fear of reprisals. The fact that quality is essential in performing audit engagements. Same repeated from the above. Next, second one is relevant ethical requirements. The responsibilities of an engagement partner in relation to the ethical requirements in an audit engagement are as under: identifying a threat to independence regarding the audit engagement that safeguards may not be able to eliminate or reduce to an acceptable level, reporting by engagement partner to the relevant persons within the firm to determine appropriate action, which may include eliminating the activity or interest that creates the threat or withdrawing from the audit engagement where withdrawal is legally permitted. Third one is acceptance and continuance of client relationships and audit engagements. The responsibility of an engagement partner in this regard in an audit engagement is on lines of SQC1, which requires the firm should obtain such information as it considers necessary in the circumstances before accepting an engagement with a new client, when deciding whether to continue an existing engagement, and when considering acceptance of a new engagement with an existing client. Information like integrity of the principal owners, competence of the engagement team, and consideration of the necessary capabilities, including time and resources, compliance with the relevant ethical requirements, and significant matters arising during current or previous audit engagement and their implications, assess the engagement partner in determining whether the conclusions reached regarding the acceptance and continuance of client relationships and audit engagements are appropriate. Fourth one, assignment of engagement teams. It should be ensured that engagement partner, that the engagement team and any auditors experts who are not part of the engagement team collectively have the appropriate competence and capabilities to perform the engagement in accordance with the professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements. Fifth one, engagement performance. Engagement partner has the responsibility for direction, supervision, and performance of an audit engagement in accordance with the professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements. He is responsible for auditor's report being appropriate in circumstances. Further, review of audit documentation before issue of audit report is his responsibility. It has to be ensured that sufficient appropriate audit evidence has been obtained to support the conclusions reached and for issuance of auditor's report. Engagement partner is also responsible for ensuring undertaking appropriate consultation on difficult or contentious matters by engagement team, not only within the team but also with the others at appropriate level within or outside the firm. Next, engagement quality control review. For audits of financial statements of listed entities and those other audit engagements, if any, for which the firm has determined that an engagement quality control review is required, the engagement partner shall determine that an engagement quality control reviewer has been appointed, discuss significant matters arising during the audit engagement, including those identified during the engagement quality control review, with the engagement quality control reviewer, not date the auditor's report until the completion of engagement quality control review. The engagement quality control reviewer shall perform an objective evaluation of the significant judgments made by the engagement team and the conclusions reached in formulating the auditor's report. This evaluation shall involve discussion of significant matters with the engagement partner, review of financial statements and the proposed auditor's report, review of selected audit documentation relating to the significant judgments the engagement team made and the conclusions it reached, and evaluation of the conclusions reached in formulating the auditor's report and consideration of whether the proposed auditor's report is appropriate. For audit of financial statements of listed entities, the engagement quality control reviewer on performing an engagement quality control review shall also consider the following. First one, the engagement team's evaluation of the firm's independence in relation to the audit engagement, whether appropriate consultation has been taken on matters involving difference of opinion or other difficult or contentious matters, and the conclusions arising from those consultations, whether audit documentation selected for review reflects the work performed in relation to the significant judgments made and supports the conclusions reached. Difference of opinion. If difference of opinion arises within the engagement team or with those consulted, or where applicable between the engagement partner and the engagement quality control reviewer, the engagement team shall follow the firm's policies and procedures for dealing with and resolving difference of opinion. Last one, monitoring. An effective system of quality control includes a monitoring process designed to provide the firm with reasonable assurance that its policies and procedures relating to the system of quality control are relevant, adequate, and operating effectively. The engagement partner shall consider the results of the firm's monitoring process as evidenced in the latest information circulated by the firm, and if applicable, other network firms, and whether deficiencies noted in that information may affect the audit engagement. Last, documentation. The engagement partner should document following matters pertaining to an audit engagement: issues identified with respect to compliance with the relevant ethical requirements and how they were resolved. Next, conclusions on compliance with independence requirements that apply to the audit engagement and any relevant discussions with the firm that support these conclusions. Third, conclusions reached regarding the acceptance and continuance of client relationships and audit engagements. Fourth, the nature and scope of and conclusions resulting from consultations undertaken during the course of the audit engagement. Besides, the engagement quality control reviewer shall document for the audit engagement reviewed that the procedures required by the firm's policies on engagement quality control review have been performed. The engagement quality control review has been completed on or before the date of auditor's report. The reviewer, that means EQCR, is not aware of any unresolved matters that would cause the reviewer to believe that the significant judgments the engagement team made and the conclusions they reached were not appropriate. SQC1 versus SA220. Key differences in the nature and scope of applicability between SQC1 and SA220. SQC1, it applies to entire firm and fixes the responsibility of firm to be assumed by CEO or managing partner, whereas SA220 applies to a particular audit engagement and engagement partner takes a responsibility for the same. SQC1, it is applicable to audits, reviews of historical financial information and other assurance and related services engagements, whereas SA220 is applicable to audit engagements only. SQC1, SA220 is applicable to audit engagements only. SQC1, it relates to setting up of the quality control system consisting of policies and procedures for the firm as a whole, whereas SA220 deals with responsibilities of the engagement teams to implement quality control procedures that are applicable to the audit engagements. Next, SQC1, it pertains to establishing a system for quality control designed to provide firm with reasonable assurance that a firm and its personnel comply with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements so that reports issued by the firm or engagement partners are appropriate in circumstances, whereas SA220, it is premised on the basis that a firm is subject to SQC1. Therefore, SQC1 is sine qua non for applicability of SA220. It is within overall context of the firm system of quality control. Engagement teams implement quality control procedures applicable to the audit engagements. Next, mechanisms for review of quality control. First one, peer review board. Peer review board is constituted by Council of ICAI. The main objective of peer review board is to ensure that in carrying out assurance engagements, assignments, technical, professional and ethical standards including regulatory requirements are complied with by members of ICAI. Proper systems are in place including documentation thereof which demonstrate quality of assurance services provided by the members. The peer review is meant for the purpose of enhancing quality of professional work, resulting in more reliable and useful audit reports. Peer review means an examination and review of systems and procedures to determine whether the same have been put in place by the practice unit for ensuring the quality of assurance services as envisaged by technical, professional and ethical standards or any other regulatory requirement. Once a practice unit is subject to peer review, its assurance engagement records pertaining to peer review period are subject to examination and review by peer reviewer. On completion of this exercise, a peer review certificate is issued in case of an unqualified report issued by peer reviewer. In case of a qualified report, it is informed to the practicing unit that same cannot be issued along with the reasons thereof, as well as inform that about the due date for conducting on follow-on review as may be decided by the board. Next, Quality Review Board. Quality Review Board has been set up by the central government. It consists of members nominated by central government and the Council of ICAI. The functions of Quality Review Board are to make recommendations to the Council regarding quality of services provided by the members of Institute, to review the quality of services provided by the members of the Institute, including audit services, and to guide the members of the Institute to improve the quality of services and adherence to the various statutory and other regulatory requirements. The statutory auditors in respect of the companies are identified for the audit quality review based upon risk-based approach. The review is carried out by technical reviewers who are empaneled by Quality Review Board on engagement basis from across the country. Next, National Financial Reporting Authority, NFRA. NFRA has been constituted in terms of Section 132 subsection 1 of Companies Act 2013. Duties of NFRA also includes the following: monitor and enforce compliance with accounting standards and auditing standards, oversee the quality of service of professionals associated with ensuring compliance with such standards, and suggest measures for improvement in the quality of service. It has power to monitor and enforce compliance with accounting standards and auditing standards and oversee the quality of service under Section 132 subsection 2, or undertake investigation under 132 subsection 4 of the auditors of certain class of companies. Such companies include listed companies, insurance companies, banking companies, and other companies as provided for in Rule 3 of NFRA Rules 2018. Therefore, overseeing quality of audit service of listed companies falls under the purview of NFRA. Quality Review Board can review quality of audit services provided by the members of the Institute only in respect of entities other than those specified under Rule 3 of NFRA Rules 2018 and those referred to Quality Review Board by NFRA under relevant rules.